And we are back. We are live. Hey, y'all, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews, where I'm here to give you my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Not happening in this video. So, you know what? It is what it is. But, I couldn't do this video alone. I have my co host, my special guest, as always, who's always welcome on this channel, my girl, Mrs. Best, aka Amina.
Hello.
Hello. So we are here to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 15, episode 4 recap. How did you like the episodes?
It was all right. I
Definitely a filler.
yeah, it felt like a filler episode. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't. It was,
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best. I expect better from Real Housewives of Atlanta, but hey, they're back. We're enjoying them so far. So the episode actually opens up with Kenya and Mayetta doing a dance rehearsal for something that Kenya didn't even do. So, if you guys have saw the blogs at the time that this was going on, there was no halftime performance by Kenya. We'll understand why the next episode, but as of right now, we know for sure she didn't do it. So, how did you feel with Kenya talking about this new boyfriend of hers? Like, what do you feel about that?
it was very 11th grade. It was very 11th grade. I mean,
Not very 11th grade. Wait a minute. I'll be back in high school. She do give me that old giddy, old, the oh my God, he paid attention to
she
me.
just did
Our
the most with
quarterback.
the
She do give me
boyfriend.
that though. She do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's my boyfriend. Like she's very 11th grade.
Yeah. And she
I
talked
mean, it's
about if she was the other thing up was she said that he's good in bed, and the Yelp review says he just has 9 stars.
Mark was good in bed, and the other one. I mean, you're not going to say publicly if you're dating this new person, "Oh, he's bad in bed. That's the only thing. The hell, get rid of him then. The so I don't know. Kenya does this with every guy, is what I'm getting at.
She does, and it's kind of like I need Kenya to do some deeper soul searching. I
Mhm.
do. I need her to figure out because he seems like he's another Mark. He's just better dressed and probably more successful. So that I just feel like he's another Mark. But
Yeah.
we'll see what this turns into. Only time will tell. So that's pretty much all that happened. She said that she's putting together the trip to Alabama in this scene. And she's not gonna tell the girls that she's performing in the halftime show yet. So she wants Mangetta to keep this a secret. And that was pretty much that scene. Moving on to Sonia and her mother and sister, they are conversating. Sonia has 5 million things to do, and she sent her brother-in-law slash assistant, to make sure he gets some of those errands taken care of that she needs done. You know how I feel about this whole brother-in-law situation and him working for Sonya and everything. Do you think that the tension between her and her sister stems from him working for her, or do you think there's something else there?
I don't think she has much tension. I think her sister's a little bit jealous of her success, but not in a way that would cause her to want to sabotage her sister or stop her sister's success. Like
Is
I think
that
she's
what it is?
happy. She's definitely happy for her family. I think she's a little bit jealous because her sister does hair, and I don't know, maybe she thought, oh, my sister's Sanya Richards Ross. I can do her hair and then I'll do all these other people's hair. And
Oh, so you thought it would okay, I see where you're going. So you were looking at it as like a Gugu Atkins when Mary had their reality TV show and their sister who dressed them, how she was able to kind of get other clients off of the back of them. You think that that's what it because I was noticing her disposition and her face towards Sonya. It was like there's something there,
no,
and I
I
can't put my
feel
finger on it.
like it's probably always been that way with the track. When you Sanya Richards Ross, I ran track in high school for a little bit, so she's fast.
Hmm.
She's fast, and like she's she's a big deal basically in sports. And when you do well in the Olympics, after that, they say what makes you the money is the endorsements that come after that,
Right.
which they showed this episode. And I was glad that they showed that she's more than just a gold medalist and does other things.
Me
But
too.
I feel like because of how fast paced it is, Once you do the Olympics, you get popular. It's just go, 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 go. So obviously, there probably was an adjustment for the family, especially with how close their dynamic is. But I don't think that. I feel like her sister thought in the way that Sanya talks too, the way that they all talk. They thought that one person in the family making it could support everybody, but it just does not work that way. But then at the same time, Shez seems. I know you're gonna bring it up about the husband quitting and all of that, but I think she got comfortable with her sister paying for everything and handling stuff. Because why are you upset that it's like, on one hand, you don't want your husband working for him and you feel like it's impacting your marriage and your relationship with your sister? You say she's self-centered but not selfish. I don't understand the effing difference to that.
See, and that's what I was going to bring up next is that because when she said that she her husband basically said he wants this to only be a Ross household now. I felt like
As
that
he
wasn't
should.
unreasonable. Yeah, this is his house. Like,
Right.
and the fact that her sister got all in her feelings and walked out that room the way she did, it was kind of like, okay, there's two things going on. One, you probably can't afford to live on your own.
Nope.
And then two, your husband doesn't have the job that he needs to support you. So
He doesn't
you're
have a job.
feeling, well, I don't know what that man does outside of being Sanya's assistant. As I said, FedEx is hiring, UPS is hiring. You need to go and get
Remember,
some.
he said he is in real estate. He got his real estate license and everything, but he wasn't getting the clients he wanted or as
No,
many
I
as he
remember
thought.
that, but he
Yeah.
does not give me real estate agent. Like he does not. I did real estate. I know what those people are. I can't do it either. I'm gonna reattempt it again. But I was not at that time. I was not a go getter, serial entrepreneur type esque where I could sell a conversation to anybody. Now homes are selling themselves, so I don't understand. He just doesn't give me that. He's giving me he wants a quick $1 million, and this is one of the millions ways you
I
can get
think
it.
that her sister married an ain't shit nigga. Sorry, I'm just gonna say it. I think she married an ain't shit nigga that was probably cute and good in bed, and they ended up getting married, having a kid, all of that. And then Sandra ended up blowing up with the Olympics. I think the sister might have sold the dream to her husband or something that Sanya
No,
could do something for him. Either way, my opinion stays the same on this. Shez and her husband want Sanya and Russ to pay for their life. Y'all have two kids. You cannot be upset that someone wants y'all to move out. Because at first, she made it about before storming out. She tried to reason to her mom, like, she's going to need help with Deuce. If she moves out, that's going to impact them with Deuce. We're the ones doing everything for Deuce. Then, when the mom's like, oh, they'll be okay, then suddenly Shez is getting up to walk out and stuff. She's like, he just wants it. I can't help it not take it personally. Why are you taking it personally? Because I've lived with family with my spouse in situations where we were down younger trying to come up. And my family didn't really have to say too much to him. We never really lived with them fools ever for more than 3 months because a man or a provider, you don't even have to be a man, is going to raise the F up out of your family's house. So it's just weird to me that they don't want to do that. Like, why are you mad that you have to go live with you and your two kids? Most people can't wait to be a family in their own spot.
and see, and that was one of my situations with listening to Sonya because I went back. I watched her We TV reality show. Apparently, he was one of Ross's friends that married the sister. So I don't think necessarily she sold him on the dream. I think he was a hanger on her and came into that dynamic, married the sister. Because if you will go back and watch it, he wasn't shit in that series. Like I was looking at that and I was like, "Is this you still married him?" Okay, well, hey, you might be right. Sometimes when men are good in bed, that's all women require. So it
Yeah, because
just
the mom and dad, it sounds like, have their stuff together. And it doesn't sound like they're in the house anymore from what I got from this episode. It's just the sister. And the mom also seemed to be okay and understanding of the things that Sanya had to do. But the
mhm.
sister is just like, why are you asking this of my husband? It's too much of my husband.
Yeah, it was it
Girl,
was it was given that.
if
It
your
was
husband could
given.
get his own job, you wouldn't be in this situation.
Well,
Stop
no, if
yelling at
you're
your sister and get at your man.
no, he need to go. I told y'all he need to go to the post office. He need to go UPS or FedEx. He need to go where he don't need to be talking much because real estate ain't for everybody. It just isn't. And he did not give me. And I was telling this to one of my friends because they disagree with me. I said he didn't give me real estate entrepreneur. I have been in rooms with many real estate agents, many realtors, many brokers. They all have a gift of conversation. When I tell you they
Sales,
could
you
talk
cannot work sales of any sort if you don't know how to fake it till you make it.
exactly.
I
And
worked
that's
sales
what
for
and
7
that's what I'm
years.
saying.
You
He did
can't
not
do
give me
nothing
that.
without faking it.
Because to me, he would have stole the scene if
Mhm.
that's what he was giving. But he didn't
Or
do
he
that.
would have came in even trying to. They had a show on real estate people trying to come up on Bravo and some other places.
Yeah,
You
he
got
would have got on
to
that
be
show. Yeah,
dressed.
exactly.
You got to be dressed to impress, even when you're not selling something. You never know. You could meet somebody just getting coffee and want to sell them a house, or they may say something, and that's how you find your clients. You have to be extroverted, even when it's not your naturalness. And he is not
Yeah, he didn't give me that at all.
extroverted.
Absolutely.
He seems fine being quiet, but then the sister's complaining. So I'm like, I don't think that dude has made any complaints. I feel like the sister's made complaints and he probably goes along with it because it's his wife, but it's a free job. I mean, how hard can it be? Sanya's not even having him do what assistants are actually doing. She had her own
Exactly.
schedule and list in there for what to
Exactly.
do. Like if I'm getting to a point, oh, I feel like in a year I might need an assistant with this these lives and stuff. And I would need them to be scheduling my things, setting stuff up, making phone calls, doing my shop. Like Sanya only has him picking stuff up, it seems like, and
Yeah.
shopping.
It didn't seem like it was
So
much. Yeah, exactly.
they're complaining. Basically, my opinion on the sister is Sanya's family situation. The mom and the dad love them to death. Sanya, I get it. You want to help your family, but your sister and her lazy ass husband are ungrateful, and that fool needs to man up and take care of the family that his one-eyed monster created. I mean, how you gonna expect your sister to be caring and housing you and your 2 kids? How is that an expectation? I understand family should be there, but you're not a single mom. You have a whole husband
Yeah.
who's unemployed with time. So why don't you go do some hair and he be a house husband, something, but they can figure it out.
No, I need him to work. I'm sorry. No, there's
I
no
don't think that
no, I
man
need
needs to work. I
I
don't
need
think
him.
that.
No, he needs to, like I said, he need to go to UPS, USPS, or he can go to FedEx and he'll be driving one of them trucks. I'm not gonna play with you
And I
anymore.
saw
Yeah.
your RHOA. Our lives has been getting good views. So if anybody could tag hashtag Sanya, her sister, if they watch it, please. There are people out here not on platforms, not famous, going to work because they have to, not because they want to. It is insulting to the viewers who go to work just to pay to watch y'all narrow behinds to act this lazy. I wish
Absolutely.
I could lean on family, Miss Shez. I wish I could lean on family.
Oh,
You
absolutely. I
wish
wish
they could.
that was my dynamic.
Right. I can't.
Absolutely.
My
I
family's
Yeah.
there for me, but not financially, like
No,
at
no,
all,
not
or
at
with
all. So
housing. That's a
housing, yes. Like my family would take me in, especially if I was down on my luck. Absolutely, my family would take me in. But financially, my mom was not paying my bills. My
right,
grandparents were not
right,
paying my bills.
right.
My
And
father's not going to pay my bills. So
Sandy's paying their bills and giving them a paycheck.
yes,
Shut the f up to her
right.
sister, and I'm tired of them. I
All right,
really am.
so let's moving on. Marlo, her nephews, and the sister, she dropped them boys off at her house. That sister is back. Um, Marlo's obsession with Candy and this whole nephew dying in situation is causing me not to want to be sympathetic with her at all. Like I want to have
Nobody's
sympathy
sympathetic with
because,
me.
well, because I know it's hard to lose someone that more than likely you helped raise in some capacity and you were around a lot. I know that that's hard on anybody, but the fact that she is really selling us this story and brought her sister on,
Mm.
watching her sister cry, knowing her sister was going to get emotional about this because it was someone she was raised with because they were around the same age.
Hmm.
It was like, Marlo, we see what you're doing. We
I
see
hate
what
when they
you're doing.
use their family and true situations and pain for any type of gain on
That
this.
girl's face broke. Like
Mhm.
it literally broke right in front of us, and I wanted to feel bad. I wanted to go hug her, but at the same time, I know Marlo did this behind some bullshit. That's why I can't get with this. I want to be sympathetic, but I can't because it's like Marlo, you selling this for a storyline, and it's
Marlo's trying so hard to explain it. It seems like she's trying to use actual facts from the past and events that happened to tell this like bullshit ass narrative. Like you said on a previous video, this was an employer. So like people who work from Walmart, do they expect Sam Walton and their billionaire family to send them
hello.
flowers to the funeral, a check in the mail, and all of that just because an employee has died? Do you, like stop? And
A
then on top
former employee at that, because remember,
of
he didn't
former,
work
not
at,
even.
yeah,
And
not
then
even a
she tried
current
to
one.
say the last picture my nephew took, he was in his chef's coat from Candy's restaurant. Candy, why do you keep having shootings? Candy is not having shootings. She owns a public establishment where people come and they eat and they kick it. Restaurants is where people go drunk to act a fool. Restaurants is where people go to get drunk to act a fool.
Right.
Restaurant is where people go for parties, events, anniversaries. So restaurants also do not have metal detectors when you walk into them. So if somebody's strapped, they strap. If somebody want to shoot, they gonna shoot. That's not Candy's fault. She don't have control. And I don't even like Candy like that on the show. But isn't you're not gonna blame her for your
Your
nephew
nephew getting
dying.
shot just because
That
he met the dude at the old lady game. That doesn't make sense to me. That
it
doesn't.
doesn't make sense. And that's she's doing kind of like, in my opinion, Marlo reminds me of Marie from our previous Bell Collective Live. Like just coming for Candy, but it seems like that issue may be the reason why Marlo's coming for Candy. But
No, no, no.
with
That's not
Marlo,
the
you just
issue.
don't know.
That's not the issue. The issue is when Barlow first came on the show, Marlo neglected to mention that she dated Candy's cousin. That didn't come
Yeah,
out
I
until
forgot about
seasons. That
that.
didn't come out until seasons later.
Yeah.
So Marlo came on this show dating Charles Grant. Let's not forget that. So Marlo thought for sure she was gonna get on this show, and when she didn't, it was like a slight. And I felt like because she knew Candy, Candy did follow that slight because it's like, okay, yeah, I know you, but so what? Like, what am I supposed to do?
That does make sense. Marlo got a history too of being a gold digger. Let's just call it what it is. Allegedly dating these. Well, not allegedly. We've seen them dating these old white men who have money, getting their gifts and
She
stuff. So
admitted that. That's the thing
it
that
wouldn't put it
kills
past
me
me
when
that
she
she
said,
knew who Candy's cousin was and knows that Candy, like the hire every friend, auntie, cousin, relative, she likes to and is able to take care of her loved ones. I felt like Marlo felt like because she dated the cousin Candy, she still cared for her. But I don't know. Marlo is, I don't
it's
even know
weird. It's weird. And
weird
when she
house.
said that, and then when she was talking about, regaining her rights to carry again after being a felon, and she said, Candy never tried to help me expunge my record. She's not supposed to. When she
First of all,
said
she
that,
didn't get the record. That's your record. That's your responsibility. So you've learned
I
nothing.
thought I was I had to rewind that 3 times because I thought I was tripping when
No,
I
she
heard her say that.
verbatim said, Candy didn't try to help me expunge my record. Bitch, it ain't nobody's fault
But
or,
yours.
or responsibility to fix your felony. Look, and I'm not even being judgmental. I've been to jail, okay? And nobody was and is, even my mama. She said, I'm not paying bail. I'm not doing shit. Because she didn't, no one gets themselves in jail but the person. Nobody can put me in a situation where I have a record but me. But
Exactly.
accountability is something that we seem to be lacking lately in the world.
It is because the problem with this generation up and coming, even though Marlo's not a part of our generation, the problem with our generation is that these parents thought by coddling us that they were shielding us from the world's scrutiny when we were going to have to deal with it in one way or another. So, and that's what I feel like Marlo's doing with those boys. I can't prove it allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly, but I feel like she's doing that with those boys, where she's trying to shield them from certain aspects of life when you don't even walk in those same shoes. So I'm trying to figure out, Marlo, once again, how is Candy responsible for showing empathy, trying to help and everything for you? How is she responsible for that? when it's
You know, if Marlo get diarrhea, it's Candy's
it's
fault. She
Candy's
ain't drank
fault.
enough water. So I mean, shit, we just don't know. Marlo, it's old though.
It is. It's
Okay,
old and
this
it's
is two
tired, and I'm just
seasons.
like,
It's weird.
I want her to say what the real issue is, and then I'll let it go. Like,
Marlo
just
to
to,
me reminds me of having Nene back when she was at her worst on the show. A little bit.
which was because Nene was at her worst for like 10 seasons.
I would
Nene was at
say
her worst at season. I'm gonna give Nene season 5, when she started booking those acting gigs. That was the downfall of Nene, is then. So I'm gonna give Nene that.
she just, I don't know. Marlo acts and carries herself like she's more special than she should, but all she's doing is making it to where the fans already didn't want you to have a peach, and neither did Bravo. They did this out of desperation. But now you're making it to where, like, if they take your peach, you can't even really come back as a friend of, because you don't have any true friends on the show.
We'll see. And allegedly, the reason why Bravo was not giving Marlo a peach is because that girl's family threatened to sue Bravo if they did. That was
Mm,
alleged. I don't know how true that was. I just remember reading it in the blog once that the reason why Marlo never got a peach because originally she was supposed to have one, but the family threatened to sue Bravo for bringing her upon there, especially using that as the storyline because they brought up all of her
mm,
mugshots. So now that that lady has passed on, it's like they've, you know, statute of limitations about to be up on that situation. The lady's no longer living, so you
mm,
know,
mm.
hey, I just think that allegedly, that's the reason why she didn't get one. And here we are now. What is it, like a decade later, hearing this shit? And it's like now it's all of a sudden Candy's fault that she couldn't expunge her record. It's like, Marlo, I'm about sick of you. I'm about
Yeah.
sick of Marlo. Speaking of somebody else who I'm sick of, Sheree. Sheree takes her behind to the gynecologist's office. That doctor played too much.
That doctor was instructed by the cameras.
I knew you were gonna say that
Come
because I was
on.
like, I said, come on. I said, Sheree, you know your ass can't handle goddamn kids. I don't know why we even going here.
But I did love that the doctor laughed about it. Like,
What else could she have done?
yeah, yeah. I
You got this
just,
go- you got this goofy ass lady sitting in this chair talking about some shit we did not need to know about. And then you bring up, oh, have you been trying? And then once again, Sheree, and this is what pisses me off about Sheree.
oh
She is
Lord.
so late to the party. She goes, have you seen my man? He has big dick energy.
He does. And a lot of Alabama apparently know about it. And now Atlanta.
Um,
I read something online that he's swinging that thing over to California too. So,
oh, it doesn't surprise me.
yeah.
But we ain't talking about the literal big dick energy. We talking about the euphemism or the metaphor of big dick energy. That man does not have that. So Sheree is given, we know you didn't graduate high school allegedly. It's given that because that is a euphemism. That is not, we ain't talking about literal. So I'm gonna need you to sit down somewhere because I don't want to hear about Martell.
Sheree has nothing else to talk about. Well, she does have a lot to talk about. If Sheree would talk about the things that she should be talking about, like her financial struggles, how it's impacted her to be known to not pay people, uh, why the hell She by Sheree she started building She by Sheree, everyone, when I was a freshman in high school. I am now a 31-year-old adult. Why did it take so long to build? She could have talked about her. I mean, there's a lot why she hit. There's a lot that she can really go back. There's room for Sheree to redeem herself on this television show if she is
Mm-hmm.
real. If you watch The Housewives from season 1 to now, you will notice that Sheree, depending on what's popular at the time or what's out or what's happened, she still kind of talks the same, but she kind of changes each season. She's very fake. She needs to do something. I'm tired of Sheree, dude. I really am.
Here's the thing. I agree with you, but then I don't agree with you. Let me explain
Mm,
why. The problem with Sheree is that Sheree, and I'm gonna say this again. I've said this every single video that we have started this channel. Sheree perpetrates. So
mhm.
the reason why she cannot be real is because her perpetration of needing to be this superior millionaire is getting in her way. when
We
we
don't
know.
care what she do or if she perpetrates. She just, if she wants to redeem herself on TV, show us something legit, something, just one topic. Talk about it in a real way. You know,
I don't even want her to do that. I just want her to go back to being a friend of the show. Like Bravo, make her a friend of the show because at this point,
that's actually something I will agree with as a whole. I don't
just
think
make her
that
a
she
friend of the
has
show.
the
Like
content or the
no,
ability to be a full-time housewife anymore. She gives every
nothing.
season she's going to date a crazy man, and it seems like when she meets a man, it doesn't matter who it is, she's going to be attached to them for years. The fibroid thing was like the final straw for me.
Me too. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like I'm done with Sheree because she has nothing else. She has nothing else. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing here. We don't want Kim Zolciak to come back and team up with her again. We are done
She
with
might.
that.
She's begging for a job.
I don't care what she's begging for. I don't want to see Kim Zolciak. So
Nobody
I don't.
does.
No, I don't want to see Kim Zolciak, and I don't want to see Sheree. I don't
Yeah.
want to see if Portia comes back. Give her Sheree's peach.
Honestly, Portia actually has a man. She obtained him in a shady way, so we know that's not going to end well. And that what makes for good TV.
It
Well,
does, and
people,
I
a
know
lot of
that
people
Bravo
don't
wants.
agree with what Portia did. Nobody agrees with what Portia did. It was dog shady and thirsty. However, you know, this makes
My thing is this: it's better than Sheree's non-story having ass.
yeah. Portia has a story, Sheree doesn't. But Portia
Yes,
is kind of like to me like a mini Sheree, a mini Nene, a mini Marlo in
I would
training.
say a mini Nene and mini Marlo. She's not
Yeah,
Sheree. Portia
yeah.
doesn't perpetrate to me.
She's
I feel like
she's
when we see a
very
Portia,
fake though. So I don't like that about Portia.
that's not perpetration. See,
Yeah.
perpetration is not fake. See, a lot of people, yeah, I'm not saying you're doing this, but a lot of people compare those two to make them the same thing. No, perpetration is you are intentionally trying to set yourself up to have more than what you really do have. That is
Mm.
perpetration.
The
Fakeness is
fakest people,
you was intentionally trying to be something you are not. That is two different things.
they go hand in hand though. Usually with somebody perpetrating, there come fakeness behind it, and there's
It
some other
could.
issues that require
No, but
therapy.
I think Sheree is really delusional and really thinks that this is her life and that she really has all this money and all that. I think no, I think it's delusional. I don't think Sheree is faking this shit. I think she really thinks that
She
she
by
has all
Sheree
this
is
shit,
helping
and
her
when
to
she
feel
loses this show as a income, she's scraping on surviving good times. Like she did. Like I feel like when Sheree came back the second time, Sheree looked like she was holding on to her last $25,000. She did. She looked like she was holding on to her last. She still had that 2012 Porsche. She still that house was not finished. She was still living in that condo from season 3. I'm not gonna play with you. Sheree perpetrates on this show, and it's
Mhm.
so annoying to watch.
Yeah.
It's like Bravo, y'all bring her back for what reason?
Now that I don't really see like, you see like Portia fans who will like stand for her. You see Candy fans who stand for her. Kenya has a pretty good fan base, but when you look at Sheree and Marlo, I'm like, where are their fans? Like,
Because the fans know them girls. The fans of the show know them too.
I'm just like,
Bullshit, and that's
bravo.
fun.
But why? Like, I would have rather had a smaller cast than have had Sheree and Marlo to be there. They don't even have a fan base. And maybe having a smaller cast will force people um, like Candy, Sanya to do better, interact differently. Sometimes with a smaller group, you can learn more, get better
Yeah, because they do
things.
that with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. They did that, especially when Mary got fired. They
Mhm,
started doing that. They made the cast smaller, and then they
mhm.
started intermingling their friends of the show in there more. So maybe that's what they should have did with this show because clearly we're not getting anywhere,
Yeah.
and that's just what it is. So moving on from Sheree. So this is the day of the girls' trip. I'm not gonna talk about Sonya's thing because I don't really. We've already beat that down. It's a day of Kenya's event or Kenya's trip. Um, Drew got sick, so she's not gonna make it, and then Candy had a prior engagement, so that just left Courtney for whatever reason is here. Marlo, Sheree, Monietta, Sonya, and Kenya. So it left them, and it was
I
really
just say
weird.
about Drew, I don't believe that she had influenza type B.
I don't believe she did either.
If you
I
had
think she had,
influenza type B, you would literally be at home on a flipping respirator, breathing treatments. I've had it.
right.
So I was looking at her. She's like I couldn't even cough. on
Yeah,
camera with
it
them.
literally feels like something is stuck here. That's why I was like,
I think that
yeah,
because we
she's
now know that she's getting a divorce and how he didn't show how he wasn't with her. Well, I think that's when she's having family problems and knowing Drew, she probably didn't want to tell them and have them filming it.
yeah. I think I agree with you,
Just a little side.
but I want to talk about this dynamic on this bus because it felt like Kenya was outnumbered by the I Hate Candy train because she even said it herself. Two of my best friends on the show are not here. Candy, my right hand. She didn't say Drew. I wonder who the other person was because that's the only person that was missing was Drew. So it was like, who are you talking about, Kenya? But I felt like for me watching this, I was like, they finna dog the fuck out of Kenya, and then Kenya makes it easy for them to do so
Mhm.
because we know how Kenya get down. Kenya is cheap as hell
Yep.
when it comes to planning trips. Kenya is all for one and all for Kenya. It is just crazy to me. So when I saw this, I said, "This is not going to go well." And Kenya, you have the worst people on this trip with you to do this shit. So let's start off with this whole dance segment. And I have never seen a bunch of stiff ass women in my entire life dancing. None of them gave at all. So I'm just like,
None of the women on this show have ever given us anything with dance. I'm sorry. I know people love Portia, even her. The girl could barely twerk. Look, the ass is too big for her to twerk. All right. And it's not fake. I don't think Portia's butt is fake.
no,
So
they said no.
it's hard.
Shamari just came out with a, it was a couple years ago. Shamari had said, no, Portia's had that ass since high school.
She has these pictures of her
Yeah.
going backward. And when it's real and you're not just waving around,
See, there's a difference
weightless
between her ass
silicone
and
is different.
Kenya's ass that looked like, see, no, no,
Kenya
I'm not,
had a good butt before, but it is obvious that she had something done because you look at her
because
body then and you look at her body now and you're like, this did not all
I
come
want to say
from
it was
children.
her 50th birthday party where she was in Cancun and she was running to the pool and they had it on her ass and it literally looked like you could see the shit, whatever was in there, you could literally see it move. And it was like, and then she took the video off Instagram and I was like, fuck, I wish I would have recorded that shit. And it was funny. I was watching Bondi Blue. Shout out to Bondi Blue. Would love to work with you one day. But overall, Bondi Blue saw the same thing and she was saying it in her video. I was like, okay, I thought I was the only person because nobody was talking about this. And I was like, I thought I was the only person who saw
Kenya
that shit.
wore her real hair at first and was very vocal about it. And I feel like she don't want people to know when she has certain things done. But unfortunately, people are so insecure and everyone's getting plastic surgery now.
Oh, I know, because when that was one of the reasons why I didn't like Kenya.
50-year-old women getting BBLs. Make it make sense.
That's why I didn't like Kenya. What season was that when she came back? It was season 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
With that shit she did with Tanya, I still feel a way about that because it was like you back because she showed a wig, the wig that you claim you don't be wearing. So you mad about that, and here you
Just
are,
keep it real.
two
In order
seasons
to have a
later.
full head of hair, sometimes you have to wear a protective style, a wig or a
Well,
weave.
that's what she said later on, but it's like, well, you could have just said that.
Right,
And
right.
we would be going through this because now every time we see you, be talking about oh your wig, and it's like oh so you would wear wigs, Kenya. We we were trying to tell you we noticed it, but here you are perpetrating. There's that word again. You see, some of these women be perpetrating on the show, and it's like I'm so sick of you. I need someone to come on here that I need somebody that come in here in the broke down Hyundai that is just really like yeah this is my life. This shit don't start. Oh well. What
Yeah.
y'all gonna do until y'all give me some money? This is what y'all seeing. I need. Where is that lady at? I know she on this. I know she's trying to get on this show.
Yep. And they're probably not letting her on because
Yeah,
she got the
exactly.
Honda and stuff. And
Yeah,
I'm over it because
yeah.
you keep putting people on shows when you have shows like this one specifically where you have cast members on there who are incredibly well off financially. Stop putting people who are like one thing about Beverly Hills Housewives, I feel like the whole cast, the income levels match and it kind of helps
No,
a little bit.
I don't agree with that.
I feel like their income levels match this cast. I feel like everyone is trying to,
No, honey.
everyone is
Them
trying
no.
to
Let
match.
me say something because you said the wrong show. You said the wrong show. I would have said Orange County. Yeah, their incomes match.
No,
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills, for the most part, their incomes match. And
Who's?
people think that they don't because of what they see on the cast right now of Beverly Hills. These people's incomes match. They
So
met.
you saying, okay, I'm about to burst your bubble. So you saying that Sutton and Garcelle's incomes match?
Well, Sutton has more money, obviously.
Exactly my point.
But
Exactly my point.
in terms of the bracket and what they have, like Garcelle is
No,
cheap. She could
no,
afford
I'm not
more
agreeing
and
to that.
afford to
No,
have what Sutton
we
has.
not for that. Now this show, Atlanta, yeah, their incomes match, except for
No.
Candy's.
Yeah. And
Except
that's
for
the
Candy's,
problem. That's
and
what I'm saying.
that's one person. I feel like Dorit, Sutton, Kyle. I want to throw somebody else in there because I'm
You
not
got
gonna
to
say
take
I'm
the
not.
read out of there, darling. The people who have bankruptcy and keep renting their houses, her income is shifty right
Okay,
now.
I'm gonna take the readout. Okay, so Sutton, it's Kyle. I'm not gonna say Erica, Crystal. I'm gonna put Crystal in there. And there's one more person I was gonna put in there. I'm not gonna say Kathy because Kathy's not on the show anymore. Who else is on that show with them?
That's pretty much it
I'm
right
gonna
now.
put those. Fine, we're just gonna go with those three. Those three incomes match, and then you have Garcelle over there and Erica, whose incomes are probably not up to par with those three.
Well,
So
people forget Garcelle has all sorts. I had looked that up recently. That girl she has money. She's just humble and
no,
very
she
cheap.
has. I'm not saying she doesn't have money, but when we're saying the incomes match, her incomes do not match those other ladies. And if Lisa Vanderpump was still on the show,
Oh
sure
no,
the
Lisa
hell
Vanderpump,
wouldn't.
she was
It's
on the
showing the
show.
hell wouldn't match.
But
And if
even
Kathy's still on the
so, they're
show,
all in the same, for the most part, income range, except for Erica. These women on the Housewives, Candy's worth now almost $100 million. There's nobody on the
no,
cast
no,
that even
that
comes
even comes
close.
close.
Garcelle make less than these women on Beverly Hills, but she's not so far off.
She's not. I'm not saying she's far off, but I'm just
These
saying the incomes
people
don't match.
on Atlanta, it's gonna always be people trying to compete
But
with
that's just one
Candy.
person, though. That's my point. Is that's just one person. Candy is one person compared to because we can't even tell you out of Kenya, Drew, Marlo, Sheree, who would be next in that line. We can't even tell you that. That's what
You
I'm saying.
can't.
See, at least with Beverly Hills, you can kind of go down the line and say
But my
who's
point
there.
is the issue with the income difference on Atlanta and Candy having so much more. That's why I don't feel she's right for this show,
No, I
because
agree
all
with you
these
on that
women,
part. Yeah.
they keep trying, in my opinion, to compete with things that they feel someone of Candy's income should have,
I
like
bet you.
big
Let me explain something to
rooms.
you.
I'm
I
like,
bet
y'all
you if
can't
you
even
ask
afford
Sheree
the
her net worth,
rooms
she's
you're
gonna tell you $15
expecting.
million.
You said what?
If you ask Sheree her net worth, she's gonna tell you $15 million. I
Well, Sheree
guarantee
don't. We ain't nobody asking Sheree's net worth. We know her net worth is nothing when you look at the prices of She by Sheree. If the website is running that day, I
Oh
cannot.
my god. Okay, let's
Sheree,
get
like, I don't even know why we have to discuss Sheree as a housewife. I'd rather talk about Marlo than talk about Sheree as a housewife.
well, speaking of
Everybody knows
Marlo,
she's broke.
so let's kind of go back. So they're at dinner, and Kinga still hasn't told them, what she's going to do, but she does tell them that, they're going to, this charity event. But before she does that, she wants to get, up to date on the gossip that's been happening because apparently there is this discombobulation about the story of Marlo and Drew. So Drew put it onto Kenya that Marlo was all up in her face and everything, and Marlo kind of shuts that down. Says, "No, I wasn't. I was sitting." And then Bravo is messy as hell, and she shows the one clip of her sitting when we all saw her get up in Drew's face and yell, "My nephew is dead, bitch." I'm not confused on what I saw. I know what the fuck I saw, and
Everybody
that's
knows
what the
what
fuck
they
she
saw.
did. So I don't understand why Bravo, the people who work in the call center. I need y'all supervisor. I need feedback to go up to the head
We
CEO.
need the supervisor
Yeah, we need the
because what the hell
supervisor
was that
because
in it?
who the hell did that?
She flipped out all the to where one of the production people was like, you saw him
We
grabbing
saw him jump in. Yeah, we saw
Drew.
because he thought we was going because he
He
thought
didn't
she
know
was
what
gonna
to
hit her. That's
expect.
why, yeah. Like
I feel
after
like
all that,
Bravo gives Marlo passes, though. I felt that in her first season as a full-time housewife. I was like,
oh,
oh,
absolutely they did.
this is what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Like, kind of like they do Teresa Giudice on Housewives of New Jersey. She should have been fired.
So
But
somebody owe her some money, allegedly. That's what I'm gonna say. I say the same thing about Yandy Smith on Love and Hip Hop. Somebody owe her some money. That's why
she's
she's still
friends
coming
with
back.
Moneta, or not Moneta. Why am I saying Moneta? She's friends with Mona Scott Young. She's actually her mentor. Mona Scott Young is Yandy's mentor.
Mona ain't in charge of the show no more. Why are we still
She
seeing Yandy?
isn't.
Why are we still seeing Yandy?
I did not know she wasn't in charge of the show no more.
No. They did the Mariah thing where they didn't give her allegedly. I don't know if that's really what it was, but what I'm saying is, MTV bought it and they didn't take Mona with it. They basically bought
Good.
the name to the
No,
show.
good. Because she did something good at first, but we'll talk about that in
When
a
it comes back, yeah, and
yeah.
Amina, that'll be on the Mina channel, not mine. I'm not doing Love and Hip Hop.
Be
I'm not doing Love and Hip Hop.
here with me though.
I will be here with absolutely to run my mouth,
He
and I'm
said,
not going to be watching
no,
you.
because let them crazy loving hip hop fans come after me. I could get ratchet just like the rest of y'all. So when you on my channel, watch your fucking mouth in my
She said it.
comments.
She said it
Please.
because I know I ain't gonna watch mine. So that's why it's not gonna be on my channel because I know I'm gonna go the hell off. So going back to that's how you know the show was some bullshit in the filler episode because we can't even stay on topic here.
And
See,
that's the thing. The other thing I have wrote in my note, I don't know if it's valuable as a note, but we shouldn't need a filler episode. What is this?
we
Episode
shouldn't.
4?
But I do want to talk about one more thing. I do want to talk about because the Kenyan, we all know what we saw. So people in the call center at Bravo, I need the supervisor. That edit was bullshit, and do not try us like that no more. Okay,
Right.
that's my feedback. This event that Kenya said was a charity event that looked like Kenya was doing a club appearance.
Bro.
Because she jumped on Manetta about her outfit, but Manetta actually was
She was
appropriate.
appropriately
She was
dressed.
appropriately dressed,
Yeah.
considering what we was looking at in there.
Why didn't
Sheree was
she
overdressed.
know like the
Actually, I
location?
thought Sheree's outfit was fire. I said, Sheree, you was overdressed as hell. Sonya looked good too. And I was like, even Marlo looks cute. I was like,
You know what I thought though after watching? Maybe Moneta was the person on the cast who was real enough to Google the venue to see where they was gonna be. I feel like she's the one person who did not just trust Kenya's word. She Googled that shit. She said, I need to see where I'm going. Because that's what I do when people invite me places. I don't care if it's a formal event, a wedding. I'm looking at the venue because the venue tells me what I can and cannot wear. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And if
I
you would have
agree.
looked at that venue, you would have been like, well, they can only do so much in here. I'm like,
Yeah, it seemed it to me. So this is where I think management got their wires crossed because it seemed like one man. It was like probably a promoter that told
mhm.
Kenya to come on and bring them cameras, and then the management was like, "Oh hell no," because they're bringing up too much attention. Because you know what happens when they bring cameras in. Now everybody signed their releases. Now everybody's expecting free drinks because Kenya Morton brought her ass in here. I think that that's what happened. Allegedly, I don't know. I don't know if that's what happened, but I have seen living in Florida and Miami. I have seen. I was just in the club with Bobby Lights. Did I know who he was? If you guys watch Love and Hip Hop Miami, that name is very familiar. That's Trina's cousin. He was in the club that I was just at on Sunday, and when I tell you he was making all kind of scenes and stuff like that, and it was getting a lot. I can imagine we left because it was way too much. So I can see this situation happening where Kenya is a big name on a reality TV show.
Mhm.
Fans are getting rowdy. They see
Mhm.
who she is. They want pictures. They want everything. And the thing about the difference between Florida and Georgia is that people know who Bobby Lights is. Because I remember I was sitting next to a lady. She goes, "That's Bobby Lights up there after the food." And everybody's like, "Yeah." So it was kind of like, we're not gonna make a big deal, but that Alabama, absolutely. I think that
They
that's what
acted a
happened.
fool. Like, honestly, to know and to be a fan of the show, just to the people in that scene, I know there were regular people. Stop being so freaking thirsty. These are celebrities, yes, but they're also people. If you're a fan of the show, you understand the fourth wall. You understand the meaning of it. You understand that you shouldn't just be filming people while filming. The fact that so many people have to tell these people, stop filming, stop filming. Like, I've met celebrities before. I've asked, may I take a picture with you? I'm a fan, but don't just have cameras in the face. That's what this one lady just holding the cameras in their face.
I saw her. I was like, "Oh my
I was
god!"
like,
It
girl,
reminded me of that waitress that was on Basketball Wives that Shawnee had to tell, "Excuse me, we're filming." There
Yeah,
you go.
Kenya say, please don't. I do like that Kenya seems to be respectful to her fans and every person in there, even though they were at the level where it's like, honestly, with them being celebrities, that wasn't safe for them, that type
It
of humor.
wasn't, and that's
So,
what makes me think that this was a club appearance and not an event
but
because
Kenya handles her own. I know she handles her own. She's a very small team to save money because she's cheap as hell.
yeah,
She's talked about that.
the way she talks to her staff, I'm like, y'all are
Maybe
crazy
somebody
working
was
for this
getting
woman.
back at her. It's
No,
like,
it may be so, but the way because I remember she was talking to the assistant, I was looking at her like, oh, you look crazy. First of all, you're not gonna call my name like that.
mm-hmm, right.
Yeah, you're not gonna do all that. I'm sorry, we not. I'm not. That's why I can't work for a celebrity because I would get fired and then I would let all their secrets out. Every damn thing you told me gonna
Don't
go
hire
into the
James.
to the highest bidder. Yeah, don't hire me. Don't
He
hire
said,
me
I get fired until I see.
because I'm telling every goddamn thing I saw. Every damn I'm taking pictures. I'm selling all that shit, and you gonna have to pay to shut me up
Mm.
because it's my
Yeah, but
story. That's me telling my version of the story of working with you. Just like J Lo's assistant just came out recently and said the shit that J Lo does.
yeah,
That would be me. So that's why I said don't hire me, Kenya. Kenya, don't hire me because I'm gonna talk about you because
yeah.
this was some bullshit. And I actually I wasn't mad at Marlo, but I understood Marlo
Hmm.
because Kenya is cheap, and the fact that they didn't have any bottles at their table. What kind of
Listen, if you know somebody cheap, I'd be understanding these women. But if I know that somebody is a certain way, I'm going to adjust my expectations. I don't know why these women keep expecting more from Kenya. She been every season she been on the show, any
when
of
Kenya had to
her
cut her
vacation.
crab cake sandwich in half and give it to Tanya because Tanya was hungry. I'm sorry. There's no way I'm trusting Kenya at it. There's no way I'm trusting Kenya on a
She
trip.
got them Uber Eats food. I
No, she
believe
didn't. No, she did not. No, that is not what she got them ham sandwiches that they had to go make themselves. Go back and watch that shit. Because I was mad as hell at Kenya.
whatever happened, it was cheap. If I see my guests feeling like they have to Uber Eats, and I'm not even in that price range, like I'm gonna at least cook some food that everyone can eat or something. You can't just expect people, adults. We are not kids. Okay, that's what they used to pack us at the doggone field trips and picnics when we in
Right.
school.
Right.
Ham sandwiches. Okay,
Kenya could have had a caterer.
adults.
Kenya could have had some shit for them. Like that's what I'm saying. This is what I be talking about with Kenya. Kenya is when I tell you, I don't know if she just is being frugal because of that one season she wasn't on Housewives. I don't know what it is about Kenya. I just don't know. But Kenya can never get this shit right. And if I'm not mistaken, was Kenya the one I was talking about singing in that event that Singer had last season? I can't remember now.
She was. What kind of party is this? She had the Party City decorations.
That was Kenya.
Yes, that was
See,
Kenya. You are correct.
and this is where, and I'm mad. I'm mad we started it this season. That last season, I'd have read Kenya down. I said, I know your North Carolina frugal ass is not talking, or that was even North Carolina, that was South Carolina. I know your ass ain't talking about nobody being
Here's the thing:
frugal and cheap.
if you cheap and you're on reality TV, you better own that shit. I'm sorry to curse on the Watch Your Mouth channel, but if you are cheap, own it because then at least we'll be like, okay, well, we know she don't give a damn. Because
Yeah,
in
because
my mind, I'm like, I kind of get where Kenya's coming from. I don't care if it's for the show or whatever. I'm gonna do the bare minimum to get me by for a
the
bunch of
bare
bitches to have
minimum
something
is
to
at
say
least
about me.
appetizers on this kind of platform.
Yeah, she.
That's why. Yeah, that's the bare minimum is appetizer. I'm not saying you gotta give me a full course meal, but you know when you invite, especially you know if you invite me somewhere, you better have some damn appetizer, something. And when I'm hungry, I am not the nicest person. So
Nobody
that's
is.
no, I take it to a whole another level.
My husband does too. Y'all will probably get
You
along.
let me tell you something. See, in high school and shit, see, that's why you didn't experience me much in high school. My ass was hungry. I would leave school literally and go home, eat and come back. I was hungry.
When we was
I was one of
similar, I
those.
used to be climbing that fence to get
Okay,
the hell
because I'm
out. I
like,
lived down the street.
we
They
had
said close
we
campus.
had them long ass classes and shit. Y'all really think I'm gonna sit up here and starve? No, I'm going home and I will be right back.
Whose idea
Y'all,
was that, by the way? Our high school had us in 2 hour classes talking about a block schedule. There's nothing I
girl,
need to know for geometry that requires me to be there for
yeah,
two
for two
hours.
hours. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So this is what we're talking about. So back to Kenya. This is why we feel this strongly because we see this. And then Sheree didn't even have the suite that you promised her. That was a regular room.
Well, for the type of hotel it was, that was their version of a suite. It looked like they was in. You remember where we stayed when I came and visited you years ago? What was that?
It was a Holiday Inn Express.
Something like that, but it
It
was like
was.
suites or
Yeah, it
something.
was a suites. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
and they
that.
and it wasn't a suite. It looked like she had them because it's also Alabama, so I don't expect them to have like the most options for rooms and things. But
I feel like I've stayed at that hotel. If I'm gonna have
yeah,
to. I feel like because when I went to Birmingham, that room looked familiar.
you
So
probably have.
I'm gonna have to because if I remember if that was the same hotel because I only paid $59.99 a night. I got it on Hotels.com. They were doing a special and I chose it. It was a 3-star hotel. I'm not
Shout out
trying to
to
be shady.
hotels.com.
Yeah, I'm not being shady. It was a 3-star hotel and it was very much $59.99 a night.
Yeah.
And this was only 5 years ago. So I'm just saying.
Now it's probably 119.99.
Yes, now it's 119 now. But yeah. But that was pretty much it. The girls came back to the hotel after dealing with that crazy ass tobacco of it being an event. I'm gonna call that an appearance event. I'm not gonna call that a
They
charity
handled
event.
it well. I expected the cast to like get it, Kenya, a little more like in the car
Well,
ride
we
back.
don't know because the episode goes because Kenya met them at the hotel. They didn't even get in the same car with her.
Oh, I didn't peep that. See?
Yeah, they didn't even know. Kenya left. I don't think Kenya got in the same car with them because she was already in her room when they got to the hotel.
Oh,
Marlo kicked the
but you know
door.
what I
Yeah.
do want to say before you end your live that I have to speak on? I know we didn't get much of it. Kenya Moore, you are trying to act like a single mom that I would know where they truly don't have help. They truly can't afford daycares, and nothing is wrong with that shit. Daycare is expensive, but I'm getting tired of the whole my child is here, my child is asleep. I can't kick it with y'all because I have my child. When you know that you're filming, this is your job, bro. This is your job. I understand that sometimes you have to bring your kids to work, but like Marlo did kind of have a point. She shouldn't have said that to her. Definitely right message, wrong deliverer. Get a separate room for your kid. You have nannies and stuff with Brooklyn. That's who dropped them off to you. So why
Yeah.
aren't you paying them to keep her for longer? If those cameras are filming you or if they're filming somebody else and you're on a group trip, then you need to be prepared and have your child away or elsewhere. I'm
Kenya
getting
gives
tired of
me
it.
Kenya
People with
gives me
kids,
like charade, like don't like paying people. She gives me that. Even though she got on charade about that at their reunion, I feel like they wanted the same when it comes to I feel like Kenya tries to cut corners.
Mhm. She does. She's
And
admitted to it. She cheap as hell. But that's getting old. I don't like when people do that either in real life or on television. Like if you have a kid, you have a kid, but do not use your child as an excuse to get away with certain things that should not be okay. Like you have the
I agree.
money, you can afford it. You are not just a regular, single mom out here who's not on TV working and doing the best of her ability. Like you are someone who's astute, you have money, you have people who are now established that you trust with your child. You knew ahead of time that you were filming, you had time to prepare. Hell, it's your trip, so you should have prepared by having other stuff. But I also get the feeling like with how the scene with Brooklyn, like, no, Brooklyn, no, I have to go. I get the feeling that she may not have the most control over her child because most moms would have been like, I have to go. I got to go. And the kid will listen. I just don't.
I feel two ways about this. I feel like I understand it was late, so maybe, she wanted to, probably have her daughter in the bed with her and stuff because she probably worked all that day and wasn't able to be with
It's
her.
9:30. That child under 5. She should have been asleep already.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like the baby was sleeping. Marlo loud ass probably woke her up. That's probably what happened. We don't know because they
Yeah.
didn't show because we probably won't know until next episode what really did go down because they cut it off where Kenya was cussing at the door and stuff and said she was gonna call the police. And Kenya, stop acting like that. Stop calling the police and shit because that wasn't even called for.
Right. And you're
It wasn't.
wasting
Yeah,
your time.
you're wasting their time.
Right. People shooting up grocery stores and
Because
shit.
it
You want to
triggered
call
me
the
back
police because
when
the
it
kid
was
got
that
woken up.
Portia situation. That's what triggered me. When she said I'm calling the police, it triggered me like that Portia situation triggered me because I'm not saying Portia was right in what she did, but y'all are on the show together. and you were
Mhm.
being equally as antagonistic as she was.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit here and act like that intrigued because that triggered. That's what made me not like Kenya
Mhm.
going into the. It was that situation, and it was the first season.
But
So
situations like that, when Kenya's offended, she wants to bring in outside entities, police, lawyers. She's always threatening that. But when she does things to people that, in my opinion, are often way worse than what they've done to her, is she just does too much sometimes. But I don't like that.
I don't like that either. So we're gonna see what happens. You
Mhm.
know, they cut it off right there. They're doing, I guess, this because it's a filler episode. They have to give some suspense. So that was pretty much it. You know, it was a very lackluster
Lackluster
episode. It was
episode.
very cold. We didn't know what the hell was going on. King in this event, was it a charity event? We know she's not performing at the halftime. So I mean, what do we know? What else is there to talk about? So that's it, you guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We will be on Amina's channel in about an hour to talk about the infamous Summer House Martha's Vineyard that she felt was not that good. I felt like I have a difference of opinion of a couple of people in
The
there.
show as a whole is but this episode was good. It did help.
It did help.
It was.
Exactly. See,
I was
she's
like, come
coming around,
on,
y'all.
come
She's coming
on.
around. Yeah. So
I try to hang in there. I had somebody message me, can you please keep reviewing the show? I know you don't like the show. I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna keep reviewing it. I just
we need the content, so we're gonna keep reviewing it. But at some point, they need to do better with this cast. That's all I know.
yes.
But we'll be back, guys. Make sure you go to subscribe to Mrs. Best Reviews. That's best spelled with the 3 instead of the E. So y'all, she grew on that channel, y'all. She doing big things. She gonna get to 1,000 way before I do. So you know
Don't
what?
say that.
Support my girl. Oh,
Don't
girl,
say
I know.
that.
Girl,
Support
until I get the oh, girl, it don't matter. I'm gonna get there at some point. You just gonna get there before me, and that's all right. I want you to. So there it is. I want you to go. I want us to do this full time. So however we get there, we gonna get there. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
All right. I will see you in a bit. But bye, you guys. Have a great time.
Adios.
Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys. Bye.
Bye bye.